Welcome back into processing. We left off the last video. Hopefully you're picking up right where we left off and you're watching these in sequence, but we had taken what we had known with creating some shapes, but we added the random variable. Remember, we can now assign anything random to any of our shapes. We're actually going to play with that a little bit more at the start here, and then we also added that transparency where instead of drawing something 100% opaque, it's actually drawing it somewhat transparent, and we can end up drawing things over top of other things. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to add in even a couple other variables that just make processing that much cooler, and I think you're going to really love what we do today. So hopefully you've actually hopefully you've actually got it open right now. This is where we kind of left off. We titled it Animations, and we had our setup. We created our little background. We slowed down the frame rate so it'd be not so hyperspastic, but yeah, you might want it going really fast too, but especially for my video here, it's better if I keep it a little slower pace. And then we drew this circle. Right now what we've got is a red circle. We used those built-in variables width and height so we could put it in the center, and we've got it fairly transparent. I'm going to actually make it a little less transparent this time, and when we run it, it's going to keep redrawing the circle over and over again, and slowly it fills in. But let's go back and play with that random variable again. Pardon that beeping. Let's use that random variable again. And we can leave things, for now let's go 100% opaque again. So let's do our random colors. So random, remember again, if we just leave it with one number, it's going to assume from 0 to 255. So random, let's call this 255 as well, and do the random delete 255. Alright, so now again we're going to be redrawing these circles over and over again with random colors. Now let's add that randomness into our location. So random, and I'm going to use again our built-in variables, so width and random. Before I hit run, let's think about what this is going to do, what this is telling us for a moment here. We are going to draw, we've got a stroke weight 5, we've got random fill colors, and our ellipses are going to be, whoops, this isn't actually what I intended to do, but it'll be kind of cool. Our ellipses are going to be at the center, but our width of them, gotta make sure I spell things properly, our width and our height of our ellipses are going to vary randomly. And so when we hit play, notice now we get all sorts of different random ellipses, and it keeps redrawing them on top of each other. And so we get this fairly cool, I don't know, it almost looks like we're drawing eyes. So let's close that. Let's also randomize the location of our circles. So random, so that the center of it can be anywhere from 0 up to whatever the height is for its y variable, and its x variable can be anywhere from 0 to the full width of our canvas. So now when we do it, we're going to get circles drawing all over the spot, and they're going to keep redrawing over top of each other and over top of each other and over top of each other. And now we've established some kind of cool animation here. And I'd certainly encourage you to pause this video if you want and play around and try adding random and other things. We can also add, let's throw back in our transparency level. So let's do 50, and now you're going to see them drawing them over top of each other, but you can still see the other ones underneath. I probably should have made it a little more opaque and a little less transparent. So let's try that up at, I don't know, let's do 150. And run that. And now you can see it, and we're slowly covering them all over. So have a little fun. Maybe pause this video for a minute. Go play with that. I definitely have to close this window, otherwise it's going to distract me from what I want to show you next. Before I do that, let's just go back to our simple ellipse our simple circle. So 255, 0, 0, we'll put it at this, well, we'll leave that for a second. We'll make it 200 by 200 wide. Maybe I'll do 150. 150, delete this and go by 150. But now let's look over at some of these other useful built-in variables. One of these is mouse X, and what that does is it stores the X coordinate of the pixel that the tip of your mouse pointer is currently over, and similarly the mouse Y stores the Y coordinate of the pixel that the tip of your mouse pointer is currently over. So instead of drawing this ellipse at the center, let's just draw it at, let's make the X variable wherever the X of my mouse is over, and the Y of my circle then being at that mouse Y. Alright, are you ready for this? Let's play. And now notice, wherever I move my mouse, that's where it's going to draw the circle, and it's going to keep drawing it over and over and over again. And so now we've added a little bit of drawing ability in here almost. So that's the mouse X and the mouse Y. There's also a built-in variable called the P mouse X and the P mouse Y, which draws from where your previous spot was to your current one. So let's, just for fun, let's change this back. I know we're doing a lot of changing back and forth. Let's do random red, random green, random amount of blue. So we're random colors here. And let's actually make it somewhat transparent again. So let's do, I think 150 worked pretty well. So right now, again, might as well run it in a second, but now we're drawing and it's different colors and somewhat transparent, so that's kind of fun. But let's add, I'm going to slow my frame rate down even more so it doesn't draw quite as quick, and I'm also going to draw a line that goes from, remember we need 2 points in here, so I'm going to go draw the line from my previous mouse spot to my current, so P mouse X, P mouse Y, so that's like my, I typed that right. So that's my starting point for the line. It's going to be from where my mouse previously was the last time through the draw loop. And I'm going to draw it to my mouse X, mouse Y. And notice now it's going to, so it should draw a line from the previous spot my mouse was to where my current mouse is now. And what I end up getting is kind of this little link, almost like a necklace sort of thing, with a line drawn from one spot to the next. So that might be a fun way to use your P mouse X, P mouse Y. Actually, let's turn off the transparency, might look a little cooler. I just suggest you kind of play around with this. And, oh, this is kind of an important thing. I'm actually drawing my line after I draw my circle. I probably actually want to draw my line and then my circle, because it's drawing my line over top of that. I'm glad I just noticed that. So if you're following along, you might want to change that and just copy and pasted. And now it'll actually draw the line first. Oh, and now you're not seeing it very well, so let's turn the transparency back on. This is the effect that I was going for, I think. So play, or run I should say, and it's drawing a little, connecting from one spot to the next. It almost looks like a little necklace. Anyway, you can have some fun playing with that. You can change the size of your mouse, your ellipse, your circle, if you want. I'm actually going to comment that line item out at the moment. We're going to have a little bit more fun here. Because you can use those mouse X and mouse Y's also in determining the size of your circle. So mouse X, mouse Y. So now you think about it, as my mouse is moving around, if I get a really small X and Y, it's going to be a really small ellipse that I'm drawing. And as I get toward a bigger one, it's going to draw a bigger one. So it's going to draw some small ones. Notice as I get wider here, it makes my width of my ellipse bigger, and as I go down, I get bigger circles. Anyway, so now I can draw some kind of cool things, and I can have some fun drawing around. Alright. The last thing that I want to do now with you today here, and this is kind of a really neat effect. I'm going to turn my frame rate back up. I'm going to go back just to a red circle. I know it sounds boring, but believe me, you're going to be blown away here, and it's going to be fully opaque. So we're drawing a red circle again, and we'll draw it wherever my mouse is, but we'll make it a consistent size, so we'll maybe make it 100 wide and 100 tall, so it's a nice circle. So I'm back to drawing just a red circle, and right now it's wherever my mouse is. But this is kind of a trick that animators have used. I'm going to change my fill color here. I'm going to draw a fill of just white, so the same as my background color. But instead of which is really 255, 255, 255. But I'm going to add some transparency to it. So maybe make it, I don't know, 100. And what I'm going to draw is a rectangle that starts in the upper corner of my canvas, and it's going to cover my entire canvas. It's going to be the width and the height of my canvas. So think about what's happening right now. Actually, let's turn the transparency off for a second. As it goes through the draw loop, it's going to draw. First, it's going to draw my circle. Actually, I don't want stroke weight anymore. Let's just make it no stroke. So no stroke. So it's going to draw. It's first going to draw. It's going to change my fill color to red, and it's going to draw a circle wherever my mouse is, and then it's going to draw a rectangle that is all white, and it's going to draw it over top of the entire canvas here. And so what you get, oops, I have an error here. Oops, I forgot my little parentheses. I know that even though it doesn't take anything, I still need to put my parentheses in. Alright, so here we go. And so now wherever my, oops, it's not working right. I apparently made a mistake. Oh, let's think about what's happening here. It's drawing no stroke. Let's put my draw my circle after my rectangle. That'll probably work a little better. There we go. Kind of messed it up there. But now it's redrawing, and so what it's drawing is it's drawing a white rectangle, so it's covering everything that was there, and then it's drawing a circle right over top of it wherever my mouse is. And then every time it keeps redrawing that, and so it covers it up, and now it looks like this little circle is just following my mouse around. So now let's add what I had there a minute ago, and put that transparency in on my, oops, not on my ellipse. I want that transparency on my rectangle. And what that's going to do then, it's instead of placing a solid opaque white rectangle over top, it's going to kind of put that white but somewhat see-through paper over. It's a lot like what animation artists used to do, and you can think of it like putting a little bit of wax paper over. But notice how it now gives me that little tail as I pull my mouse around. So this is how animators build a lot of their their animations. They give it that little bit of a tail by putting that slightly opaque white paper over top of it. So you guys have a ton of things you can play around with now. Also on that last sheet that you were given was instructions on drawing a quadrilateral. So you have triangles, circles, what else? Wait, triangles, circles, rectangles, other shapes that you might want to draw. You know how to change colors. You can add that random feature. You can do a bit of transparency, and now you can kind of get this animation. So have a little fun, create your own little animation. It's interactive now with you because you're using that mouse X and mouse Y. Take a few minutes. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll add even more to it, but have some fun, see what you can create, and then don't forget to save what you've got. Thank you.